All
Well,
right.
hello everybody. I hope people are having a good Tuesday evening, and welcome to the show. Glad y'all could
Howdy.
make it. Howdy. Hey Beard, how are you doing?
I'm
Hang
doing
on,
well.
wait for
Thank
it.
you for having me. Oh, here we
Wait
go.
for it.
Certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for? Not the beer!
Indeed.
There
Indeed.
you go.
Hey, man. Always happy to
How
be
you doing,
here.
Beard?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Looking forward to getting into this. I think one of these episodes was stronger than the other. Well, I guess you could say that really about any two episodes, but one definitely stronger than the other, in my opinion. But looking forward to getting into this.
Cool. And Shieldwall, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good.
And
Yeah, I don't know what
and
happened.
here's your
Okay, cool. That's right. F your town.
I feel like my small chance of success, certainty of death, goes right opposite of going up against Shield and his dragons.
Exactly. See, that's the thing. It's just not one dragon. It's a shield wall of dragons. That means
yes.
how many is that? It's at least 3, maybe 4 at a minimum, you know. Okay, 2 at a minimum. 2 at a minimum and up to, thousands. So, but yeah, sorry about before. When I clicked over to get the YouTube going, for some reason it just like kicked me out of the thing on StreamYard. So not really sure
No
what's
worries.
Yeah.
I was going to bring you right back in immediately, but I didn't want to ruin. I'm still new at StreamYards. I did want to bring you back in and like ruin the intro video because you can't mess up that song. I'm
yeah, exactly. It's such a great.
Right.
That's one of the best intros on YouTube. I say it a lot, but it is. It's amazing intro. Lots
yeah,
of
I
great,
sometimes forget that Jake
well,
can see me over here just going
lots of
the
great
entire time.
movies in there.
okay.
And I think Jacob's done most of those on his show, if not all of them. So
Yeah,
it's great.
That was
yeah,
the first year, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, but tonight we're doing episodes 4 and 9 of X-Files, which are both kind of alien related. Got alien stuff in them. We need that guy with the hair.
Right.
Aliens. I'm not saying it was aliens.
I'm not saying.
I mean, just turn my head upside down.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the aliens. Yeah. Fan your beard out a little bit,
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
There you go.
I hate this.
You'd be rocking it if it was the 1880s.
Upside down pigtails. What's up, Jacob?
Be like Emperor Maximilian the First of Mexico. Yeah. That's how he did it. His beard was like separated like that.
What's up, Zax?
Zax in here.
Gap
after dark. What's going on, man?
2 murderers.
Yeah. And where's it? Uh-oh. There it is. Yes, burn it down. Burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, did y'all watch these last night or?
I watched both episodes on Monday. So yeah, I guess that was yesterday. It wasn't last night; it was in the afternoon, but still. And yeah, it takes me down memory lane because I'm old enough to remember when these actually aired, and just looking at the styles and everything, and also Gillian Anderson. I forgot how good she looked when she was young like that. I'm just saying, she wasn't.
I don't disagree.
I was
wasn't
there.
Difficult to look at.
I was I was there day one, man. I watched them as they aired from the beginning. So
in your
that's
diapers
crazy.
or
I was older than that, man. I think I was about 8 or 9, I think.
okay, so old enough to really remember and soak it in and have it like affect your adult life. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Like
see, I
the
didn't start watching X-Files until like much later in the series. I was late to that, kind of like I am with a lot of things. So, surprise.
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
just
the
gotten back from England when it first started airing, so I wouldn't have been able to really see it over there. Um, but I got back to the States when it had first come on. Um, but I was too busy watching like the Hercules TV show back then with Kevin
Yes.
Sorbo because that had just come out.
right.
And then so I think I watched some of the seasons, and also this was network TV, and so it wasn't like they didn't even have TiVo or nothing like that. You had to like record it on a VHS back then if you wanted to see it. So
And
you had
hope
to
you
like
programmed
set
it right.
time it, yeah, and all that. So and I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But also Star Trek was going on, so it was, I was working all the time, so it was a real competition for my time. So I only saw like periodic episodes, like one or two here, one or two there. I don't believe I saw either of these um, at the time. So
Yeah, my first this was funny. I'm the youngest, so me and my two other siblings were in the car, and we were out doing errands with my mom, and we're like, "Can we stay in the car? Just leave the window down a little bit." And she's like, "No, the stretch man will get you." She'd never seen X-Files at that point, and we look at each other like, "Oh, the stretch man will get us." It was
is
funny.
that like the Slender Man kind of thing or something?
Yeah, it was the stretch guy, the guy that could stretch his body down the chimney.
Oh,
Remember that
right.
Oh
guy?
yeah.
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 Uh, I mean, I'm old enough to remember when my parents went to see Close Encounters of the Third Kind in the theater. Um, I was a little too young to go see that, um, but yeah, I think America's always had a fascination, and maybe the world too, with like UFOs and aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that camper brings back memories. My grandfather had one like that.
Yeah, I
And
remember
this,
sleeping in tents.
Mhm.
Then we got a pop-up camper.
yeah, we borrowed my granddad's camper a couple of times. I was that little kid that wanted the little loft that kind of went over the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
had
yeah.
no space in
Yeah.
it, but I was the tiniest one, even though I was the oldest.
There used to be windows. Me and my brother would sit up there while we were driving. They used to let us hang out in the back of that thing while we were driving around. Well, because it's
Yeah.
a pickup truck, so the only way you can transport more than one person or two is go in the back, which I'm not sure is
Mhm.
legal.
Yeah.
But my grandmother
Pretty
used
sure
to
it's not.
cook. She used to cook while we were moving in there.
Man,
Like
that
Lucy.
upholstery.
But yeah, those windows, those glass windows, you could some of them had like a little hand crank that you could turn and it would open them up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Did you ever see that Lucy movie where they get a camper
Oh,
and she's in
yeah,
the
and she's
back
making a
cooking?
she's trying to make a turkey while he's driving over the
Yeah.
mountains. Yeah, and he
And
finally opens the thing up
and
and it's
she's
like,
collected a bunch of big rocks,
yeah,
and they're going up and down hills, and the
yeah,
rocks
it's
are rolling back and forth.
tearing the place up.
It's
And
hilarious.
it,
Oh man.
when he finally stops the thing and opens the door, she's all covered in like mashed potatoes and she was trying to make
Yeah.
a cake, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
This opening is very reminiscent of like old, like you said before, like Close Encounters, like the old Alien movies.
Right, right, right. Exactly. This was
Like
totally, you
it's
got the
it's
light,
very much an homage to it.
right? This
Yeah.
little kid
And the little
who
kid.
I'm sure he's like some kind of actor now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so she burned her hand on the trailer door was so hot because the light and whatever it was. So she went to touch it and burn her hand. So she put an oven mitt on to open the
Yeah.
door. And of course, she comes out and everybody's gone.
Except her kid. And I can't remember. He didn't follow her out. He was out there.
No,
He
he was
saw
out
what
there laying
happened.
next to his sister.
Yeah, they were both out
sleeping.
there.
Yeah,
But-
they were sleeping
Him and
on the
his sister.
ground.
You see, that's one of the like the great things I love about the show is like there's this phenomena that heated up the top of her camper and the handle of the door, but didn't roast her child that was standing outside. Like there's always like they're
Right.
weird contradictions that you think just you shouldn't put in because they don't make sense, but in the X-Files universe, they make sense.
Yeah, and then you got the intro, which is, yeah, it still brings back memories to this day, especially that first like UFO that it's basically a cloud
Yeah.
on against the sky. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that picture from somewhere prior to this show.
And
I'm pretty sure that's a
speaking
famous
of the
shot.
truth is out there.
Yep.
The truth is out there. This is the first episode where Mulder says that.
Okay.
And this is, of course,
Yeah.
episode 4.
Jay Goodwin is saying that it was like a pop culture phenomenon, kind of like how
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was when it first came out. I remember I actually didn't see Game of Thrones until it was all done, like for years. I didn't see it until a couple of years ago. And but I remember people coming into work and that's all they talked about. You know.
Yeah. See, if I have the dates right on this, let's see, it started in 93. I was 10 years old. I don't think I was allowed to watch it yet. So I knew about it. It was that much of a phenomenon that I knew about it, even though I couldn't watch it. Darn that sheltered upbringing.
Hey, I had a sheltered upbringing too, but that shelters you from some not so good stuff too.
That's
You
true.
know, I mean,
Well, I think there's an
Howdy,
appropriate
Melvin.
age to be exposed to certain
yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
I think there's certain things that you need to be aware of. Otherwise, you can't become a
Oh yeah, I'm not.
well-rounded, functioning adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't. Like crazy shelter. I mean, we were told things, and when we needed to know them, but
I know what you mean. You weren't like 5 watching Jaws or anything. Like
no,
some people
8.
let their kids do, and then they wouldn't like get in the bathtub for 4 months.
The PG movie
Yeah.
with a topless woman and murders sharks.
That PG? I don't remember.
It was before. I think that was before PG-13. That was one of the films.
Yeah,
that
it
made
was
them create
before
PG-13.
PG-13. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been R. I was too little to watch that anyway. Teen taken from tent by aliens.
Yeah, this is still early on when she's like the inside like agent trying to keep him in check.
Right.
And so she's been called in like, hey, do you know why he's calling you in on this? Because I don't really want to let it happen.
Right. So in the first scene, she's called in. Yeah, right here. He's like, hey, Mulder is asking for like this travel voucher and, orders to go to this place. And then he says, but he has a connection. The reason why he might be asking to do this is because his sister kind of disappeared.
Yeah, because nobody's asked them to show up. He basically just clipped a newspaper article out of a tabloid magazine and then submitted like all the documents for travel and such.
The same magazine that says 100-year-old woman gave birth to a lizard baby.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, exactly.
And he doesn't say that's not true. He just says, "Oh, it didn't happen in such and such an area."
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because that guy basically is like, I'm going to deny this, and she's like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, he says he's going to deny it. Yeah, she says, let me talk to him and find out what is like. Does he have any real evidence or whatever? And then she'll go down to the basement and he'll unpack some things that you really can't deny.
Yeah. He fires up both the slide projector and the overhead projector, which nobody remembers those these days.
I do. I remember the teacher asked me to like, okay, advance, next slide, next slide.
You hit the button, it goes
Right here,
chunk.
she's thinking, please don't bring out the slide projector. Please don't bring out the slide projector.
Every family get together back in the day. Let me show you my vacation pictures.
Or they'd be upside down. One
There
of
it
them
is.
would be upside down.
Yes. There's
When
the
I
lizard
first-
baby.
Yeah, that's the 100-year-old mother gives birth to lizard baby. When yeah, a lot of the training stuff that we had to do when I first joined the military was slides like that, with like this tape set in it. Like, so you put the deck in, put the tape on, and then the slide would pop up on this like monitor thing that back projected it. And then you got the overhead projector, and you put the cellophane on there, and then you could draw on it.
I just love that he had these set up and ready to go. Like he expected her to come in and
Oh,
down.
he probably leaves them there permanently.
Yeah.
No, specifically the slides and everything. Like he's like, she's gonna come down here and have questions, and I'm ready.
Oh
for it.
yeah,
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Like what we didn't see right before she walked in is he was rushing around, like putting everything together. And right before she walked in, he like leaned back real quick. It's like acting casual, like, oh yeah, hey, how you doing?
So that's a picture of the UFO that a like a weather airplane took, and a bunch of sightings. And the Air Force said it was a weather balloon that got caught in the jet stream and got stretched. So
yeah, a bunch of Girl Scouts saw it.
Yeah, in the 60s.
Yeah.
One of whom happens to be the mother of the girl that just got abducted.
It's a nice little reveal for him because he puts the article up on the overhead projector and points straight to the name just as she's reading it, just like, yes, you've played right into my hand. Now let's go. Darlene Morris. Chase says Mulder was obviously in the AB club in high school.
Yes.
All right, since Roman's not here, does anybody want to comment? I mean, she's not in a pantsuit right now, but I feel like just in honor of Roman, somebody should comment on her outfit at some point.
I don't know. I think
Hmm?
she's kind of rocking that
Her
Hillary
shoulders.
Clinton look,
Yeah,
Oh,
better than Hillary ever did.
But I mean, that was what you did back then. This is
I mean, that was the
fan.
style then.
Yep.
Yeah.
You look at the shoulder. He's
Sure.
got the puffy shoulder pads.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he even has the bottom of his tie tucked into his. No, it just looked like it in the freeze frame. I thought he had his tie tucked into his belt. I was about to call him out for that.
Look at the size of that
That's
dish.
like 1940s kind of stuff. I know. Yeah, is that the kind of dish you got in your? Did you get your internet from?
No, it's
Yeah,
not that
I
big.
can imagine that a lot
it's
of
like
neighborhoods
dish.
hated
It's like
you.
a Dish Network size.
If
Yeah,
you travel through the Southwest of the United States, like New Mexico, Arizona,
Oh yeah.
like Utah and Nevada, there are so many of these abandoned out there, just next to people's trailers and on their roofs and stuff.
yeah, they were an eyesore.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Hey there, you barmy.
Howdy.
You're barmy. And Melvin. Melvin's here too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she's like, oh, I didn't expect the FBI to help me. We're from
Because
the government and we're here to help.
Worst thing you could ever hear. Yeah, because as far as we know, nobody's taken her seriously or sent anything up the chain. So she's really surprised to actually see them here. And this is where we see that the burn on her hand was actually very significant because it's at least been long enough for a newspaper that probably was local to circulate into a national tabloid and then reach the FBI. And she's still got that wrapped up. So that was a significant burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she tells her that he knows about the witness, her
Oh, that's
story
right.
back when she was a kid. And
Yeah, that's
And
his
he asks if he can
that's
talk
his
to the
like credibility. Like it's like, I know you've seen things before. That's why we're here. Kind of, that's his en route to be
Yeah.
trusted.
So he goes off and talks to the kid, but then she's like, I tell all these people, and they have the exact same look on their face. And there it is, the look right there.
Mm. Yep. Of course, she's left talking to the super skeptic.
Yeah.
And this is the
This kid
poltergeist
is looking at the TV.
reference.
They're
Yeah.
here.
Yep. The kid's writing down a bunch of binary numbers.
Yeah.
See, this is not to jump ahead just in general, but going through this episode, this is one of the things where I thought like Mulder was the most logical and level-headed person out of everybody. Usually I kind of like look at the skeptics and go, okay, you know, like they have an argument. No, Mulder was absolutely right this entire time from the beginning, even not knowing the X-Files being the X-Files.
Right.
He just picks up on all these little things. He goes, no, that doesn't make sense. It's got to be something else.
Yeah, everywhere they go, the cops are like, this is a waste of our time. There's no way it's aliens or whatever.
I mean, the cop right there basically straight up says like she was drunk all the time and she had like a ton of boyfriends and I've arrested her a bunch of times. So he's just like, she's a bad kid, ran away. Who cares?
Right. I mean, but logically, what's more likely to have happened? Aliens took her, or she bounced out to go to LA and, because she thinks she can be an actress or whatever.
Still really dismissive police work to just say, she's a troubled kid. We're not going to look for her.
Yeah.
Well, at least he isn't trying to arrest him like that one guy from the other episode.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jersey Devil. Yeah. Mulder gives him a hard time.
Nah, that's his shtick. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And they find the note that says, like, I'm across the street, follow me.
Even if it has no story of aliens in it, that guy should be reprimanded. You're not going to look for her because, you think she's got off with somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's just lazy.
Well, he did say he went out to the campsite. He didn't find anything. They looked around, but yeah, you're right. They have a tendency with this show to make everybody else but Mulder and Scully kind of like not care about what's going on. Or,
I mean,
yeah,
there is the possibility that she actually is old, like an adult legally. I don't think they ever say her age because her brother is so young. I assumed like she was in high school, but because she would like visit a bar, maybe she is actually of legal age, and as an adult you're allowed to just disappear. So maybe that's kind of what he was thinking.
Yeah. So this girl left a note on their car, so they followed her.
She was a friend of the missing girl. It's just not a great way to have a conversation through the library books. Come on.
No.
And this is where we find out about the boyfriend at the bar. It's a bartender.
That is the plan. There may be breaks in between seasons, but yes, that's the plan.
It might take several years.
It would.
It's at this point, everybody's seen you come into the library. Why bother talking through the books? Come on. Just makes you look crazy if somebody doesn't know there's somebody else on the other aisle.
Yeah. By the time you leave, by the time she leaves the bookstore, it'll be across town. Everybody knows. What were you talking to the FBI for?
Yeah, but if you see a town like a lot of these shows, they're like, oh, it's small town America, but they haven't really been to a small town.
Yeah.
No.
Their idea of what a small town is not it. Oh, it's only 100,000 people.
No.
You know, that's a small town. It's a little
Yeah.
podunk place. No, if you got buildings that aren't corn silos that are bigger than 5 stories, then you're in a that's not
Yeah.
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 I
So
mean, you
she's
might get
like,
a pass if
yeah,
you have those
she-
buildings on like one road.
So she tells him that she hung out with a guy that used to pour beer at a biker bar.
Yeah. Bartender at a very, very stereotypical biker bar.
There
yeah.
must have been
Yeah,
a secret door, behind a bookshelf that she just slipped into.
Yeah, she just Batmaned because like that lady behind them
Yeah.
dropped the book. They look away. She's gone. It's like, don't run to the other aisle. Run to the only other exit that's not going to set a fire alarm off.
Right. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Oh,
dude
I
sure
didn't notice that either. That dude is just
Yeah.
straight up.
When I
Okay.
remember when I watched this, I was like, oh well, the show's
Woo!
canceled. it'd be canceled these days. Somebody,
That was
show
probably
my
stock
age.
footage that
So my
nobody
age.
looked at.
Somebody's going to start a letter writing campaign. Remember when
Did
that
y'all
was
re-
how you got a show taken off the air? Is you had to write letters to them about it,
Oh yeah,
or keep it on. Now everything's
That's
done on Twitter.
Did y'all recognize this dude?
Yeah, he's the guy from Revenge of the Nerds. He's what's that guy's name? Ox or
And
something?
he was in
Oh,
he was in
or
Bloodsport
Ogre.
too. That
He was Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. Yes, he was in Bloodsport, where he was kind of like pretty cool
Yeah.
dude, and then doesn't he kill? He gets killed, doesn't he?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Donald Gibb, Revenge of the Nerds, Bloodsport, Hancock. Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd already been in a bunch of
Yeah.
movies and stuff by this point.
I liked his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ask about the boyfriend. He's like, "Yeah, if you see him, tell him he's fired. Haven't seen him in a while." And he's got
a
the
tattoo of
UFO tattoo.
Let's be honest, that's a crappy UFO tattoo.
That is a
Yes.
that is a temporary tattoo
Yeah.
all day compared
That
to
is-
the one
that-
above. I believe.
Look at the
That
edge
one,
there.
no.
You can see the wrinkle, the edge of it.
Yes,
It's just, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look right. Like they just, yeah. See, Adam Gray, it's over.
it was okay. Like in standard definition, you wouldn't have been able to see that much detail.
Yes, that we have to keep that in mind. That a lot of although I will say the quality, because people out there remember, people used to watch this on CRT.
Yeah,
Tube TVs,
Yeah.
and some of them weren't that big, and the quality that you got through your reception through your antenna, if you didn't have cable, wasn't good. Sometimes you had to put like an extra bunch of tinfoil on it or something.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's
I
like,
mean, this was a nice.
you should
touch.
go out to the lake, get a sunburn at night.
I mean, just
Yeah,
the mangled
you know,
ear was nice.
How
touch.
his ear got that burn, but not the rest of his body, doesn't make any sense. Like if it was like a wide area of heat, unless it was like a death ray that got him or something, his whole
Yeah,
be,
Yeah.
and,
I mean, logically, if we want to apply not X-Files logic, the rest of his head would be burned enough that he wouldn't grow hair back.
I think exactly this. They could have just skipped this, and
They
it would've been
targeted
fine.
the ear.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It was
Even
kind of
if it
fun
was
to watch.
just like a
Act
sunburn.
like a skeptic the entire time. Act like he didn't know anything already.
Now, would you give this guy the location you're staying at?
Well, they are FBI. You know what I mean? And it was the
Yeah.
90s. So but
Still.
that picture of that hotel brought back memories. That was the kind of place that my family would stay at when we were traveling, like from East Coast to West Coast or something. A Motor Inn.
See, that's nice
Yeah.
for a Motor Inn. Usually when you say Motor Inn around me,
yeah.
I'm expecting a one-story place
Yep.
that
was
hasn't
built
been
in
maintenance in 30 years.
and it was built in 1930.
Right.
Yeah.
I was driving from Florida to Tucson, and we stopped in Louisiana, and we got, like, we didn't plan ahead, because this is pre-internet or whatever. We stopped at this hotel, and we had to leave kind of early, so we get up to go, and it's like 5 a.m. And these guys had just come back from like hunting or something at night, and they were literally dressing a deer in the bathtub. They had
Oh
it
my
hanging.
God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So
And look who shows up. The NSA.
the government does what the government does, shows up in the middle of the night, and Scully, being the unprepared person she is, doesn't keep her gun on the side table next to her bed. She keeps it across the room. So they bust in. Somehow they know her room, but not his. So they bust in on her, go, "Where's Mulder's?" She's like, "I don't know, next door."
Yeah,
He put I wonder if he put his name, not Mulder, but put it under an
Oh,
assumed name.
that actually would be in character for him.
mm.
Yeah.
So they got a hold of the binary code from the kid.
Again, okay, so this is the NSA saying this is national security stuff, right? And he's giving them a lip. Oh, well, what is it? You got to tell me what it is, or I'm not going to tell you where the kid. That's not how it works. They come in and tell you it's national security. You got to believe them, unless because also what if they want to go that route? What they should do is have him get screwed over by them a couple of times in a few episodes, and then he can learn to not trust them. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
that's
right.
one thing I don't like about this show. They're FBI agents, but they have such a combative, adversarial like relationship with other organizations when they don't need to or they shouldn't.
I
Like
think it works with Mulder just because he doesn't even trust the FBI.
I kind of see that, but like now it'd be different if they were asking for some like different stuff. But when they find out that, hey, this is a code to or a piece of data from a spy satellite, well, okay, how did this kid has it? How did he get it? You need to figure all that out. The other thing is, and these guys go in there and flip the kid's room
Scully.
like a bunch of like mafia guys or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd have to go through. You just don't flip
like,
through a couple of books. You take all that stuff and go through it with a fine tooth comb instead of flipping through the pages randomly to look. You know how much stuff you could miss doing that in a search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that they, they're
Yes.
just trying to do a procedural TV show that these guys are kind of not that cool, and
Well,
they're.
I mean, I get that they're assuming that the kid saw it from somewhere, so they assume that the mother had got it somehow.
Right.
But it's still weird that a kid would be able to remember that enough to jot it down on a piece of paper.
Well, he said it was coming from the TV, the left.
Yes,
corner of the TV.
this is where Mulder's logic that it's something other than like a parent having access to the information starts making a lot more sense to me, because
right.
no like 8-year-old kid is going to look at binary code for an instant and just jot it down later on. At least not many.
Right. Yeah. Not unless he's in that Bruce Willis movie with that autistic kid.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
Yeah.
God, I hated that kid.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It was terrible.
I mean, there are some out there. My dad has worked with a kid who could drive, like on the bus, would get to school and know immediately what teachers were absent by the license plates on their cars. He couldn't tell you the car or the color, but he could tell you the license plate first.
They broke his piggy
They
bank.
broke his piggy bank too.
Yeah.
Those jerks.
And they just left it on. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how you do it. If you're just searching for like a bag of Coke or something, sure. But if you're searching for like codes and stuff, it could be in a micro dot. You don't know. You would have to take everything.
You said they could, show a history with these guys that they've been kind of jerks like this, but they're doing it in a different way. They're showing, oh, they broke his piggy bank. and they're
Right.
rummaging
I,
through
I
these
get what they were
this
trying to do,
room.
like make it out
Yeah,
that these guys don't care. But um, all I'm saying is that that's not the way that they would go about doing it. They could still be dicks about it. And this is where he sees the top of the camper. Is all.
Mhm.
Somebody spray painted it.
That thing's gonna leak now.
and that
Yeah.
that color green too on the truck.
Oh yeah, that's 1960s right there. That's late
That's an old
60s,
truck.
early 70s camper and truck. Yep. Which at the time of filming wouldn't have been necessarily that old,
hmm
like 20 years or so.
I half expected him to taste it. Got a
Oh, I
coppery
was like, he
flavor.
doesn't know what caused that, right? And he's touching it and smelling it. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking when he was doing that, it could be all like it's an alien bacteria in there or something, or you know what I mean? Like some kind of weird chemical.
I figured he was putting
So
like
this
two
lady
and two
says,
together, having seen her burned hand previously. I'm trying to get in like how Mulder's mind works, which can't work like a normal mind if we're honest.
yeah. So she tells him that the code is not national security. I don't know why the NSA would do that then.
Well, they have one bit that's a part of a code that is, and then they have a bunch of other bits that are just other things.
Right.
What it reminded me of was the I don't think they had DNA on it, but the disc that they sent up with the Voyager, the golden record thing that had
Oh
that
yeah,
Right.
image on it with the Leonardo da Vinci man spread out thing with a woman, and
Yeah,
then
it
it had
also
oh, it
had
is.
it
It
had
is.
it
the
had
helix.
it had yeah. Well, I don't think it had DNA. Wasn't really a thing yet.
I think it did. I think it had something
Okay.
similar, at least basic. But yeah,
Right,
because it
right,
had
right.
that
Yeah, it
plus
had
a little bit
chemical.
of like music and
Right, it
things
had
like that.
mathematical stuff that
Right.
math is universal. It had chemical things, chemicals universal. It had music. It had like a star chart thingy on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, give me
yeah.
like a,
Yeah, because that's what we want to do is send something out into space to tell aliens where to find us.
right.
Well,
Here's our
theoretically,
DNA
by
so
the
you
time it
can
gets to any place that they could
kill us.
find it and use it, will either be extinct or advanced enough that we'll be already conquering them. So,
Yeah.
She's like, you stay away from us. It wasn't his
And
fault.
she
It
didn't
was her
trust
fault.
him.
Blame
Yeah.
Scully. She did it. Come on.
which makes total sense. The NSA says it's a national emergency. You fess
yeah.
up the information, which is what you're supposed
Yeah.
to do.
And I mean, as an FBI agent, yeah.
This one was okay. What kind of security station has the cameras behind the dude for everybody to see it? I know why they did it. It's so that, for the ease of the show. But I was like, this doesn't make any sense. You're showing sensitive areas of the facility on a screen behind the guy that he can't even see. Now, maybe he has mirrored screens in front of him, but still, why would
Well,
you have those there?
you show the public the areas that you want them to see so that they know there's something out there. It's like when you walk into a gas station, you got the big screen up there that shows all the camera views. Yes, it shows you that you can get away with stuff over here, 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 and here, but it's not necessarily all the cameras. I'm giving them a little bit of a leeway, but having spent a couple years watching really boring closed security or closed circuit security cameras, there's always some cameras that people don't know about.
It just didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I know why they did it so that you could, as the viewer, could see where they didn't have to walk around the thing and look over the guy's shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder where they filmed this in Canada, probably, right?
Oh, yeah. This looks very much like those famous Canada hills that's in every sci-fi show.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is supposed to be Lake Okeechobee or whatever it was.
Right, right. I wonder if they did some like Stargate episodes here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, tops of the trees are burned off.
See, I mean, there's where some Jaffa ships blew up the trees. I mean,
exactly. Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's actually Mandalorian episodes that were filmed on Stargate old sets.
Probably.
Yeah, British Columbia. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, lightning strike should have done that. Lightning strike would have blown the tree up." I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen?
Yeah, they wouldn't be uniformly. Also, they wouldn't be uniformly burned at the top like that.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
They'd be split because it travels down the water inside the tree and just expands it to steam and blows it apart. And I will poke a little bit of holes in his logic here because I think lightning probably could burn hot enough to potentially turn a little bit of sand into glass. Maybe not
Totally.
that large of a spot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah, that piece. Well, how big was the location? The piece he has in his hand, most definitely.
Yeah.
If it's like a
Yeah, I
big,
mean,
like 10-foot area, then no.
yeah, you'd have to have some kind of rod or something going into the sand, I would think.
Yeah, because it
For
wouldn't
the
naturally go
lightning
there
to
with
hit
all
it.
those trees and hills around.
Right.
But it works for the story. It's 1993.
It wouldn't look like that either.
No,
It'd be more.
it'd have a bunch of sand
yeah.
stuck to it.
Well, not only that, it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't be opaque like that. It'd be more of a blackish kind of
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
But we got to give Scully something.
Then
And a
this
white wolf.
really cool looking wolf comes out.
It's like, hey guys, I found something. Follow me. Nice
Oh,
Beretta. It's the 90s because of course it's gonna be a Beretta.
This is the first time Mulder fires his gun in the series,
Really?
and he shoots in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the wolves off.
Come on, I want to see the wolves. Come on.
Yeah, it's more than one.
Oh, come on.
Howdy, JT.
Hey,
Yeah,
JT. You 12 people tonight. Thanks
Nice.
There they
for
are.
hanging out. Odin's wolves, they're all white. It's crazy.
I know. They were pretty cool. When I saw this, I was like, man, that'd be cool to see. So he shoots his gun in the air, scares him away, and she comes running.
And there's a dead body.
As he said,
under
a
rocks.
shallow grave by the smell of it. And I'm on both sides here because she starts scolding him for disturbing a crime scene. He's just going off a smell. Nobody's confirmed that it's a crime scene yet. It could just be like a rotting corpse underneath some rock, like an animal corpse underneath rocks. Yeah. They don't know it's a person. You got to dig a little bit before you look at it and go, okay, now we don't touch anything.
Yeah, it's kind of a judgment call. I mean, to dig through it to see if there is actually anything to worry about.
Yeah,
you'd look pretty foolish if you called a bunch of forensic dudes out there and it's a deer carcass or something that somebody covered up.
Right.
Or it's just the guts from somebody who like field dressed a deer.
Why would they bury it under a bunch of rocks though? Also, there's moss on that, so
poaching.
Unless
I don't know,
like moss that they tore up off the ground to pile on it, that's been there a minute for moss to grow on it.
Well, I mean, I don't think it grew on it. I think it was used as a coverage, like to cover it.
If they're after a buck or something, would just cut the head off and leave the body. I don't think they would cover it with rocks.
Because it would take you a while to find that many rocks. And then
it is suspicious, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think actually the moss covering was used or would use as a covering, not grown there, because it's only been a few weeks since this guy has disappeared.
Right.
And up north, you can cut big sheets of moss and use that as actual insulation whenever you're camping in like survival situations.
And it's the boyfriend.
Yep.
Or one of the boyfriends.
The guy from the bar that went missing for 3 weeks. So he's been there at least 3 weeks.
Yeah. And all his money is there, but also, which is suspicious if somebody's been taken out to have like all their money there.
Yeah,
but then also a note.
That's right, JT. Beard is an alien.
Yes.
He can grab things with his beard.
It's prehensile. I just don't show it on camera.
Yes.
Amelia says scolding him is her nature.
Yes, right.
It really is.
Yeah.
Jesus, for a minute, I thought Beer was going to confess a crime by talking about how I had a body with moss. I mean,
if you had to, you could.
yeah. Yeah, they matched the handwriting with the note that from the mysterious library woman.
It's like
with the note in the wallet.
Anybody could write like that. Oh, look, the F is the same.
Yeah, it's not really an in-depth handwriting analysis, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, not that I've ever looked into how you would, specifically
match
somebody's handwriting.
The date here on the it's a doctor's appointment. August 7th is David Duchovny's birthday. I read on the trivia for this.
There's probably somebody out there that looked into it and be like, technically August 7th in 1994 was a Saturday, so how could they have a doctor's appointment?
Right.
I guess that might be how I sound when like, why do they have monitors behind that guy that anybody can see? It's just a TV show. But that's
all
how
right.
we get
Fun
the
fact,
shows like Acolyte.
If this took place in 93, that was a Saturday. If it took place in 94, August 7th was a Sunday. So yes, you're technically right.
Yeah. I didn't even look it up, and I kind of had a suspicion they just kind of made up a date or whatever.
Hey, we'll just put the main actor's birth date on here. So they figure out that the girl they're looking for wasn't with her, and this girl killed the boyfriend. It was actually her boyfriend.
Because she was prego.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was kind of interesting when she was in the library when she said that she ran away because he got her pregnant, and then she turned that around and goes, well, she got herself pregnant. And now knowing that she's in this situation, like it's like she's blaming herself when she was saying that.
And Mulder here pulls a Vincent D'Onofrio in Law and Order. Smacks the table.
Yeah. Can really put that emphasis on the statements.
Yes. And it worked.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that when I'm interrogating somebody. Just slam your hand down on the table. I know you stole the cookies.
I didn't steal them. Smack. Yes, you did. I'm sorry. They just look so tasty.
You have cookie crumbs in your beard. So Scully's like, we have the suspect. Case is closed. It's like, not for me. Not till I find the body.
I mean, his logic there is that something
alive.
weird is happening because a little kid was writing out binary code for so many weird things. Like, there's still something to investigate there.
Yeah, like the NSA
Oh,
is
look
like,
at
well, we didn't
big
find
that
anything.
dish is.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we come up onto, is it exigent circumstances or a violation of the Fourth Amendment for the FBI to just walk into your house?
Yeah, the door was open anyway.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
Although it is interesting because they don't know it immediately, but then they find, I think Scully finds a teapot that's actually boiling, so they couldn't have been gone long.
Yeah.
And then they stumble onto a lot of paper with ones and zeros on it.
My first thought is that they had to have this is pre AI and all this kind of stuff. Somebody had to sit down and hand draw all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact. Fun fact. Let me get to it, then I'll read it here. Where is it? The huge portrait of Ruby that Kevin draws was originally done via computer printout. However, it looked a little too perfect, so art department member Vivian Nash painstakingly wrote out all the ones and zeros by hand.
Oh,
This took her several days for one shot that lasted a few seconds.
Right. Because I looked at it and those were hand drawn. They weren't
Yeah.
so what you're saying is first they just went and put it in with a computer and it was computers on a printout, like from a printer saying 1 and 0 and whatever.
Well,
I think
I remember the days of ASCII art where you could put in a picture and it would translate into text.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, having to actually go back and hand copy all that, dang.
Just for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, that was what they put into it back then. Although, if you were going to use AI or CGI for anything, this would have been it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, dedicated to your craft, that's great.
Or, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could get an AI program to make it look like it's handwritten and just print it out.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there should be
We're
no
spoiled
CGI
today.
in modern day shows, but they overuse it.
Save you a lot of time in some
Most of it
things.
looks like garbage. Yeah.
Gotta
There's
have
the camper.
the late episode car back and forth.
Oh God, I hate American
Yes.
cars from that era. They're so garbage. They look terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just the interior is like this weird, like wine colored. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't know what some vehicles were nice. I mean, there were a few Chevy trucks that were good looking, but yeah, the interiors were weird. The odd color choices.
And they were made, yeah, and they had like that short fuzz pattern on them, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense for like some kind of government vehicle
Yeah.
that they're like using. But
See, you're looking at the cars. I was looking at the flashlights thinking you're not going to see anything with those flashlights.
No.
This is a good shot. I like this shot a lot.
And here's the kid, and they're like, "Oh, it's got to be aliens."
No. Just aliens disguised as bikers.
And Mulder pulls a Qui-Gon on a Jar Jar, tackles the kid to the ground.
Yeah. There is a Twilight Zone where aliens come and they're bikers.
Biker mice from Mars?
Yes.
I know that's a cartoon, not Twilight Zone.
And they found her.
Yep.
Still alive.
I really like how ambiguous this ending is. I mean, it's very X-Files.
Yeah. Yeah, and they find no drugs, no head trauma or anything.
But some like glucose levels and some other stuff are elevated. He asks, did she have elevated levels of this and this? She's like, yes. And she's like, what's that caused by? And he's like, that's happens in astronauts who have experienced prolonged weightlessness.
Yep.
Makes you think.
I like it. I really enjoyed this episode,
That-
especially this ending.
That was a really good, like, high point. Him saying that and that reveal.
Yeah.
I like that. And in the beginning, when he was like, list of all the Girl Scouts that saw the UFO, and then this lady was one of them, kind of thing, and how they tie that all in.
Yeah, and this, especially this part right here, she's like, they told us not to tell, and she never really says any actual information.
Ooh,
So
that's
was it the bikers that said not to tell? Was it the aliens that said not to tell? Was it somebody else? Was it the
her face
freaking
morphs here.
NSA?
It's weird. Doesn't that look weird?
What?
The face morph.
Oh,
little
her
bit.
eyes? I think
It's
think
probably
that's funny.
exaggerated by the makeup.
well, not
Yeah.
only that, I think it's a still frame, so she's just like blinking or something.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Hey, Miss Martin.
Oh, hey, Miss Martin Muses, how's it going?
Yeah, it does.
And they just leave the entirety of whether that boy was stumbling onto binary that was part of other things by just trying to draw out his sister's face or whatever. They don't answer that either.
Yeah.
They just leave that up to you. She's basically like, hey, we're done here. I got my daughter back. Go away.
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk to anybody anymore. She doesn't want her kids talking to anybody. That's all right.
Alright.
Mulder will be back when the kid is 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howdy,
Hey,
love it.
love it.
This is little suspenders.
Yeah. He's dressed like Chucky.
I was about to
He
say
is
he's
dressed
kind of
like
Chucky
Chucky.
looking. We all would.
Yeah, Chucky. Just a good swift kick down the stairs will fix your
Yeah.
Chucky problems.
Right.
Oh man, those tape recorders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one kind of like that.
Kind of want to get one of those and just like take it out to the streets and just ask young kids to try to figure out how to work it.
Do you know what this is?
I think they could do it. It's not that hard. It's gotta
You have a lot
play,
more faith in
work
them than I
and
do. Yeah.
So
It's-
Mulder's remembering his sister.
Sad little bit there because he was trying to find information that might lead him to her.
Yeah.
And I think it is interesting to
Alright.
see him in a church being the guy that believes in things that are off this planet that are never mentioned in like most Christian religious texts. Like he's a believer
Yeah.
all around. It seems it's not just like the aliens or in religion or something like that. It's just you kind of don't see that a lot with people who are deep
Yeah.
into religion that will also go all in on aliens and such. At least it hasn't been my
Yeah.
experience.
Or if they do, the aliens are demonic, which is
Mhm.
kind of what I believe. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm kind of the mind while you're pulling up the next one, not to delve too much into philosophy, but I'm of the mind of the like specifically in the Bible, we're not necessarily told everything. We're told what we need to know. So there could be something else out there. It just is not relevant to us here. So that's kind of where my mind is.
right,
I don't know if there's something there, but I'm open to it.
right. I'm not saying all of it is demonic. I'm just saying
Yeah.
some of it might be.
Yeah. I don't necessarily disagree. Oh. Amelia says here,
No, this is-
Scully is
this is a
Irish Catholic.
little bit different one.
Mulder is more wary of religion. Okay. That is kind of, I think, a little bit more interesting that we see him finish that episode in a church then.
Yeah. So yeah, guys are toasting a what is it?
It's a Martian
A satellite.
Yeah.
Photographs of Mars.
They tried to make that lady's hair look 70s, but it still wound up looking 90s. This is
Yeah,
supposed to
because
be 77.
the face of Mars was discovered by Viking 1 in 1976.
It's the face of Bo. Okay.
Oh yes, the
From
face.
Dr.
That whole thing is pretty kind of, conspiracy theory and intriguing, especially when it happened because the resolution was so crap.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously they've gone and take pictures of it now, and they know that it's just shadows on some rocks.
Right.
But it does. There's an enhanced picture they show later that it really does look like a face. There's also a mountain that kind of looks like a pyramid. So
Yeah.
there were people out there that really wanted it to be true. Yeah, that one kind of looks like a monkey to me.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
rely on
Okay.
that specific kind of
Yeah.
blurry, low res face a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going for, this is definitely not one of my favorite X-Files episodes ever. I didn't hate it, but it was, I think, one of the weaker ones.
It got a little weird.
Yeah. This is interesting though, because he's an astronaut, like he's like remembering his past, but the planet below him is red, which is like just in his mind or whatever, but it kind of makes it's a weird thing. Like, I was kind of wondering if they were going to like go to the extreme of like some of our astronauts like somehow teleported to Mars or whatever.
I always knew that was Earth. It was just that's like actual footage of somebody in space, and like one of the first spacewalks ever. Is totally a 1960s, like early 60s spacesuit he's got on.
Yeah, you can tell that.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting creative choice. I couldn't tell exactly where they were going to go with it, but I guess they had to find some way to kind of like link his dreams with what he's going through.
Right.
Yeah, his mission is in this is, what was it? But it mirrors an actual mission that failed, that they had to abort.
One of the Apollo missions?
They like, how they'll disconnect and then turn the module around and attach to the actual spaceship.
Oh, okay. No, you're talking about the shuttle cancellation. Yeah. Okay. No, I follow you now. My brain went someplace else for a second. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Now, keep in mind that 87, you'd already had the Challenger incident. So they had to kind of tread carefully here with what they did.
I mean, I do think, I did say that this is a weaker episode, but I do think they did a good job of kind of what NASA was going through. Is like, do we make a successful mission to keep funding going? Do we have a failure that's going to get funding cut and things like that?
Also,
good job with that.
This video that they took right there of like actual space shuttle, it's clear. It's not. I mean, you can tell it's kind of, not the same quality as the show, but it's good. It's clear. It looks modern. It looks like they took it around. It's contemporary to the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they get a lot of the technical stuff correct. They get some of it wrong.
Yeah, I was reading that this episode, to cut cost, they did it in one place, but this wound up being the most expensive episode of season 1.
Really?
because of the set. Yeah, they had to build the set. They built it in an old brewery.
You're talking about the command center?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact size of mission control in Houston. It's been a long time since I've been down there. But it is actually a pretty dang small room. There's
Yeah,
not a lot of space.
it's not as massive as you might think. It's got like 3 rows of control banks that people sit at, plus a
Yeah.
viewing thing in the back. Now, this is the old one from like the 60s and 70s. The new one
Yeah.
is a little different, and I think it's in a different location altogether anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I've been to the Houston Space Center, and you walk around and do all that stuff, and you can see specifically the room that they use for the lunar landings, the control room for that, and the types of
Right.
panels they had and stuff. So, if you want to see what those control panels look like, just play Fallout 4 and go into any kind of building, and it kind of looks like that. So, um, but yeah, it was. So this lady here, she's the chief of communications, right? And I
right.
think they got her doing a little bit more decision making in this show and giving instructions and orders than the chief of communications would have. She would need to be more of
Yeah.
a operations person that had more oversight over everything. Her area of expertise should be comms. That's it.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be like telling all these other guys what to do with like the oxygen tanks and stuff. But
Right.
you know, I get it. They
So
want to,
this
you know,
actress was in an episode of NCIS called EX Files.
I think I've seen her in some other stuff. I mean, she's obviously a lot older now.
Whoa,
Yeah,
no.
oh, yeah.
She was the Borg Queen in Star Trek Voyager.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, then
Susanna Thompson. Yeah.
okay, okay, then she definitely kind of, yeah. So she's a lot younger, and well, not a lot, but a few years younger in this.
But yeah, she's traveled all the way to DC to clandestinely meet with them on the steps of some random location.
Yeah, I always hate these secret meetings in public where anybody can walk by and be like, "Hey, what are
Yeah.
y'all doing?" You know, um, kind of like how what's his name goes down to the old town in the House of the Dragon. He's got his hands pin on, hand of the king's pin on, like no one's going to see that for a secret meeting at a tavern. What are you doing, man? So, but again, you got to cut costs. So,
Yeah.
just have them do it on the steps here, and everyone understands. Oh, it's Washington, and gives a little more gravitas, maybe.
It'd be like Trump going, a secret meeting on the steps of some random place. Hey, what's Trump doing here?
Well, I mean, obviously, nobody really knows who these people are, but
No.
Still, this would
But in,
catch my eye.
relation to the hand of the king. Oh, what's the hand of the king doing here?
right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forget the exact X-ray item that she brings to him. It's like some alternative control.
It's a APU control valve for
Oh,
something.
yeah, alternate power
Or
unit.
an APU is an auxiliary power.
Auxiliary power. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like damaged microscopically that only could happen with extreme heat because it's resistant to everything else.
Because it's made out of
suspicious.
titanium,
Yeah.
and it has internal scoring that would be like the ability to do it just taking the part off and then like taking a screwdriver or something. You couldn't do it. It had to take special, like it had to be put in there almost when it was manufactured.
Yeah, and intentional. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's not a manufacturing defect, right?
Howdy, Gooch.
They better not try and do a U-turn. Take hours.
I hate it when Austin powers my car. It was sabotaged, damn Beastie Boys.
Yep. Can't stand it. I know you planned it.
This is when they're supposed to be in
sorry,
Houston
don't
now,
want
right?
to go off into complaining about bad Star Trek, but playing the Beastie Boys to destroy an alien fleet, that's just silly.
It's bad Star Trek. It's a fun scene, but it's bad Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay,
this
yeah, so
guy's
they go
been in
meet
a
him.
lot too.
Yeah, I recognized him, but I couldn't tell you where from.
No,
Who's that?
he's just one of those character
Colonel?
actors.
Yeah, he's in a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. He's also been in some video games and stuff.
Okay.
As live action and video games. There was a
Okay.
came out in like 94,
Hey, the Gooch is
maybe even
here.
a little later than that. There was
Yeah.
a tank game, and he was like in a uniform, like and telling you what to do, for the tank game.
Was that? Oh, we don't need to go down that route. I can almost picture it in my brain, but I can't find the name.
It was like an M1 Abrams tank game or something. We're in M1 Abrams and drove around and killed stuff. It's pretty cool. But anyway, he was definitely in it. But he was a little bit older. I saw him in something else earlier today from like the 80s or something.
I was just scrolling down his IMDb, and he's been in a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This dude he's a character actor, so he's in a lot of stuff. Just like the guy that played Boss Hogg, he was in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so the colonel here kind of dismisses them.
Yeah. It's like, we got this in hand. Even though Mulder's like fanboying. I mean, I can't help but think that was a little bit of NASA nudging them to try to keep like people interested in the space program, because this is definitely during when a lot of interest was waning, and if there's no interest, budgets get cut.
This guy was in Stargate.
Yeah. Tom Beeth?
Forget his name.
He was Mayborn. That's right.
Mayborn, yeah.
Colonel Mayborn.
That was another pretty good show. And it wasn't a perfect show, but it, for the most part, it had a lot of good episodes. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just in general, I like him as an actor.
Wasn't he like worked for the government? He was all skeptical and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, he was like Newman to O'Neill's Seinfeld.
Right.
Wow,
but every once in a while, something would happen. He would like
comparison there.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that might have been a little bit weird, but it landed.
Stargate, a show about nothing.
Actually, I'm pretty certain at some point you see O'Neill go, Mayborn.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, they're just poking their noses around NASA.
Yeah.
Trying to get some answers. Nobody's really giving them to them. Nothing's really adding up at this point.
They think there's a saboteur. So that's what they're investigating.
And
I don't think she would be involved if her husband was one of the astronauts. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was a stretch. That
no. That'd be fine. There'd be nothing wrong with that for her being on the being the chief command or whatever, because it was fiance. They weren't technically married yet. So
okay.
I still think that somebody up on the higher ups would have probably made a decision like, hey, you shouldn't have any deciding power on this mission.
Again, she's the communications chief, not the
person
in overall command. So why she's running around giving orders doesn't make any sense to me, unless she's the communications chief / deputy Capcom commander, which I don't know if they would do that.
I mean, there's another guy that's listed in the cast as actual mission controller that she gives orders to later on. So
yeah.
I
mean, I get what they're trying. They're just trying to connect it there.
Right.
But I don't know. She must have had a bunch of makeup on and lost a bunch of like face weight or something to be the board queen, because She looks way better in this.
Yeah.
Well, she's not in
Yeah, she
pale,
doesn't have
sort
that.
of green makeup.
She doesn't have that pale, sweaty
But like
makeup.
her face looked skinnier in it. I don't know. She just is kind of. I mean, she's really good board queen. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I can't remember. I think she might have reprised that as at least as the voice after
I
the
think,
other
yeah,
board
it
queen
was. Yeah,
actress died.
you're right.
because man,
You're
I
right.
bet
It was
she's
the voice.
even better looking in the '80s.
Anyway, we don't need to go down
That's
that
neither
road.
here nor there. Right?
After a while.
Yeah, and you got the ubiquitous
Oh, I get it.
cart for your luggage.
Yeah, I was looking at this trying to like figure out which hotel do I think this is down near NASA. Amelia's got an answer for you, Shield. She got older.
Get older.
Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
We were all better looking in the 80s.
Yeah. That's true.
Speak for yourself. I was bald faced and a little child. I look great now compared to then.
That was no. I definitely looked way better in the '80s.
They should have a cameo from Kevin in the background somewhere.
Asking Donald Trump for directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think they're out, but she
And they've
pulls
had
them
an
right back in.
accident.
And now he tells her there's been a press
It's
blackout,
raining.
which wouldn't necessarily just block out the radios. Come on. It just they wouldn't be releasing any information.
Oh,
And
right,
I can
the ra-
totally
yeah.
believe this much rain in Houston, just by the way. This is a lot of rain, and it's not that uncommon.
Yes.
Well, here's the other thing, right? So the launch pads in Florida and the control centers in Houston. So no one should get
Right.
confused that they're driving around Florida right now.
Yeah. But yeah, she
Yeah.
sees the face of Mars.
Well, I don't
And
know how she was
crashes.
even driving. She couldn't see
The face
anything.
of Bo.
Yes, the face
Don't
of Bo.
forget, Beard. It's the face
His
of
face
Bo.
of Bo. I'm sorry. Yeah, down here, Shield, you just get used to driving in that kind of rain sometimes. It just has to
Yeah.
happen. You may be going 20 miles an
Yeah,
hour,
and
but
it
you just
rains.
keep moving.
It rains so much in just a short period of time that you see faces in the rain.
Yeah. I've driven in rain that hard when I was learning to drive.
I
Yeah.
thought the feds controlled the weather. No, it's just the birds.
Yes.
Just the drones. All birds are drones. They went extinct, what, 100 years ago? Is that what the story is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The birds aren't real theory.
Right. Yep.
So she sees a face and has an accident.
Oh, no, she's going to have
Got-
to change her pants.
That was just an excuse. She was actually eating fast food and got ketchup all over her.
I don't know what happened. I just suddenly smacked my burger onto my face. And oh, man.
So yeah, that doesn't seem like a very big room.
It's not. This is about the real size of the thing.
Yeah.
Especially
it
the
really
one
is.
that they did in for the lunar landings in like '69. And they got booster, all these things. These look real. The panels are about the
And
same
it-
technology level.
No
Yeah,
wonder
they did a good job.
this was the most expensive episode.
I think the only big difference is it's actually, even during missions, lit brighter than that, but they probably went dark for dramatic effect and to hide the fact that it was cheaply made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at
I mean,
any,
you can tell here. Look at the bow here on the
yeah.
screen back.
Oh, yeah.
here. You can
What's supposed to be a screen with like just a transparency.
Yeah, right. Which is fine. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
But if
works.
you look at any old, like actual, like historical footage of the inside of this while they're doing missions, it's brightly lit.
Yep.
Right.
This is more like a command control center on a ship during combat, with like red lights
Yeah.
on, and everything's dark. You know.
Oh, and I do want to call out a little bit a while ago that we skipped past it because it's a brief scene when they show an exterior of their hotel. It is very much not Houston, like architecture. It is
Yeah.
very much like LA architecture. Nothing in the exterior looks like Houston. Except for the rain.
Yeah, the rain and the humidity.
Yeah. So this is the guy that's supposed to be in
Actually,
charge.
no.
This is the guy that's mission controller in the credits. He shouldn't be listening to her.
Yeah. So they think there's somebody in here. This poor guy should have wore his brown pants today.
Yeah, poor
Right.
guy's just
Whatever's
trying to do his job.
messing with the telemetry, so they can't control the shuttle from the ground. And they're going to take a chance and turn it over to the pilots. And I was like, what are they doing? That's how they normally fly it.
Yeah.
Those guys up there have full control. It isn't like they're just driving it from the ground. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, right. Hey, Gord. See you in a few, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's kind of having his own little breakdown.
Yeah.
He says, like, you know, like they turn over control and instead of and they develop an oxygen, like that's the main thing.
Right.
And he's like, you still have to get your payload done. Just go do that.
Yeah. Don't worry about losing air. It's fine.
Yeah,
It'll
he's
be
got what
fine.
pilots call get their itis. You just you achieve the objective and don't worry about anything else.
Oh. It's like, but that's my husband up there.
Yeah.
Not yet. You're not married yet.
Yeah, the long and short of this, the middle of this episode is that nothing's going right in orbit.
Yeah.
Not
Every
a whole
time they
lot
get-
happens here.
Yeah. Every time they get it right, and then something goes wrong.
Yep. And I may be blurring what's happening a little bit later because like all these kind of control center scenes kind of merge together in my head. Because they get the ship turned around and under control because the temperature was running away and getting too hot, which I appreciate because a lot of sci-fi doesn't realize that if you don't have temperature control of your ship, you don't really disperse heat because there's not atmospheric interaction. So the heat has nowhere to go. It doesn't necessarily get cold.
Right.
This guy looks like he looks like he's on the booger sugar. Okay.
He really does.
Just saying. Yeah, that's true.
Well, Scully's hair goes from auburn to red sometimes, almost. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
To do with the lighting.
It's the color correction on the film.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, this week gets up. He's like, "Hey, everything, you know, everything's gone off.
Everything's fine here. No problems. Everything. How about you?
Yeah.
Everything's okay. All good here."
He tells Mulder's like, "Yeah, you heard me lie. So now you're wondering if I would lie to you."
Yeah. He's like, we do what we do. We're heroes. Yeah, and this is true. He says they used to be, you know, front page news. You know, they did something with NASA. You know, went to the moon or whatever. All this stuff. Now it's, oh look, they messed up. Which is news today. They look for the things that are messing up instead of focus on some good things.
Yeah,
I mean, that's been the way the shuttle program was since the early 90s. Especially after the first disaster.
I remember being a kid in the late 70s and the hype from it, especially when they flew it on that 747 on the back of it. and like flew around and
Yeah.
stuff. It was all my science teachers were going crazy about it. The first couple of times it came back. I know when I went to the Houston Space Center, they had like a little flight simulator that you could fly. Just anybody could sit down and fly of the space shuttle where you'd glide it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I
they
still think
even
it's a crime that Johnson Space Center did not get one of the actual shuttles. We got one of the training things that was never airworthy. It just sits
Oh.
on the ground, and pilot, like the astronauts would sit in it and play with not play with the controls. So
Right.
they'd
Right.
run through simulations.
uh-huh.
That's just a crime. Oh, that face.
Oh,
This is I don't know if this is like early. I don't know how they did it, like early CGI, or they just did like film overlay or something.
yeah, so probably.
It was
Something like
probably a
that.
little bit of both.
So each time he like
Howdy, Dempsey.
lays down, this thing comes out and goes after the ship for some reason. It never really did give a reason.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
it's
I got the
it's
feeling it was like this, like an alien spirit ghost or some
right from Mars.
non-corporeal alien from Mars that
Yeah.
doesn't want humanity succeeding and going out into space.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what I got out of it. Is the lunar lander went there and they're like, hell no, you guys can't figure out we're here for whatever reason. I mean, if they have all of this ability to do all this, what would they have to fear from humanity? Right.
Yeah,
Other
I
than
kind of
maybe
wondered if it was like not a literal alien ghost, like a remnant of their society.
right. And there's so much they could have done with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
God, I'm trying to think of that one movie that came out in like 2000 or something, where they go there and you got the big pyramid or whatever, and eventually they wind up going inside and doing all this stuff.
Ghosts of
But
Mars.
was that it? Where it defends itself by like throwing all these rocks at him and stuff,
Maybe I can't
and
remember.
kills everybody except for one dude, and he gets stranded there.
Yeah, so that dude is already like an hour and a half late whenever Mulder and Scully go get him.
Right.
This is the oxygen leak that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The actual real problem, and that's when he tells them just put
Right.
on your suits and continue the mission. Which your exterior suits usually are connected by a tether, and even if you're not receiving any, I don't know if they actually receive any onboard oxygen there anyway, but you can't fit in a seat in the space shuttle or even most of the interior cabin, which is a small, cramped space with like 4 people in full exterior astronaut suits. That's just not going to
Yeah.
work. Yeah, she's like, she wants to get him home. He wants to get the mission done. This is where the back and forth goes. And like you said, Shield, she shouldn't be the one giving the orders here.
Well, I'm not saying because of she's or any kind of relationship with the guy in the ship.
Oh yeah,
What I'm saying is that
just
her
her level
duty
of
position,
control.
right,
Yeah.
would not, it'd be somebody else, because she's not doing her comm job if she's giving orders. So either somebody should be replacing her while she gives orders, or she needs to do her job.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, Amelia, that once you get into the full suit, you just go when you need to go.
There's a at least a P for men. There's a thing that goes over your thing, and it's got a tube, and then it goes into a pouch in the like a sponge kind of thing that's like compressed, and it'll hold quite a bit. As far as going number 2, I'm not really sure. I think you just kind of hold it, unless you're having like you ate like some bad refried beans or something.
Yeah. Oh.
You just quickly pull the pants down, let the decompression do the
Actually,
business for you.
I think they do have special diapers, because wasn't there that one crazy chick that drove from Houston to Florida to kill that one chick she was having an affair with her husband or something, and she wore adult. They called them adult diapers, but she worked for NASA, so they were like space diapers or something. So she didn't have to stop on the way there. Although if you stopped and got gas, I mean, how much time would it take for you to go to the bathroom?
As Jay says, diapers as demonstrated by the crazy lady astronaut that did her
Yep.
drive to Florida.
Yeah,
Yep, just as you were
exactly.
saying.
It never made no
Yeah.
sense to me. You have to stop to refuel. You got to stop to refuel. Then you
So
got
he's
time.
had a breakdown here, and Mulder's like, what do we need to know? He tells him that your ship needs to be such and such
It's
orientation.
a 35-degree
Yeah, something like
reentry.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
he said they can't, the tiles are damaged, and he calls them silicon tiles, so they're ceramic. I don't think they're silicon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No.
which oddly enough was kind of a foreshadowing to the second shuttle disaster that would happen much later.
Yeah, I remember kind of
And
seeing that bits and pieces on TV when I was
they give
deployed.
him the information too,
Yeah, they give them
that
right as the blackout
just
happens.
as they go out. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't know if they've actually
They're like,
received
what
it.
happened?
And what
And
they
then
mean
like,
by the blackout
"Yay,
is
it
when
worked."
you do reentry, because of the way that the ionosphere is, and you're going through it, creating all that friction and stuff, radio waves just won't reach you.
Yeah.
So
And it was a last minute thing because they had to relocate the landing point to Albuquerque, which is one of the backups for the shuttle.
Right.
Right.
And so it was a big
And she
it
does
seems
the
like a
same
very
thing.
little thing, but it's a big last minute change.
And she
There
does
were-
the same thing as the other guy. Like,
Yep.
everything went well and landed safely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Dempsey says, he quotes, each shuttle is covered up more than 24,000 6x6 inch blocks, most of which are made of silica fibers. So, yeah, he was right. And he's still got the face in him, the face of Bo.
Oh, silica, not silicone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he decides, no,
It's like,
this is an
Not again.
interesting choice because what's to say it's not just going to move on to somebody else once you're gone?
yeah.
But I do like the color change there. He went back to remembering that spacewalk is over the blue Earth, not red Mars, because like his mind's finally at peace.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah, Jay saying silica is a nice word for asbestos. Can't say
Oh.
that because everybody will be like, "Oh, I'm
Somebody
20
was
lawyers are
doing
calling me."
something and played a clip of Leave It to Beaver, and the father's like, Wally, get me those asbestos gloves.
Visual inspection failure. Amelia, I think what Dempsey said is, and I remember this, like a big giant chunk of ice fell off of it and smashed into the wing and blew some of the tiles off of there.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
when they
that was the-
re-entered, it made a hot spot, burned through the wing, and then that fire traveled up into it and just blew it up, caused it to break apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Gord King. Bestos.
Asbestos.
This is better than asbestos. Yeah. Yes, Amelia. Asbestos is only dangerous as if it becomes particleized and then you inhale it. So, if like you have, like they used to make them like baseboards in your house that look kind of rubbery, used to be made out of it, all kinds of stuff. They used to put it in floor tiles, which is fine. But if you start digging that stuff up, or you put hammers into the wall or wherever it's at, or if it was pipe insulation and it deteriorates, it'll start to become powdery. Then you inhale it and it gets in your lungs, and that gives you mesothelioma, which is like cancer from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little honorable funeral for this guy.
So-
He was always trying, like fighting against himself. Like he released the information to her that she got to them, even though he didn't really know that he did it, because he was always kind of like fighting that entity inside of him.
Right. So it was like his subconscious doing it or something.
Not the strongest episode, but not an awful one. I think it probably could have done with a little more fleshing out.
Yeah, I agree. So, what did y'all think of the first one?
I like the first one a lot.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think
like
these were both decent episodes. They're not my favorite. I think they're much better episodes in the show, that are more intriguing. But
Yeah, definitely.
but you figure, they're cranking out. This isn't a 10 episode season like they are now. Where most shows are only 10 episodes and cost 8 times as much.
Right.
But the writing is twice as bad, if not more. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I know when
I
it
mean,
first
it's
came
still
out,
it's still the
very
first season.
groundbreaking. Yeah,
Yeah, they're still kind of trying to find their feet. So
Right.
exactly. Like most shows.
I'm willing to forgive a lot and first seasons of almost any TV show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've said
How
this
you doing,
before,
Kat?
but I was originally gonna do just the Monster of the Week episodes and skip the alien stuff. But then I decided to go ahead and do the alien stuff. So next week we'll be caught up and we'll be doing episode, or next month we'll be caught up and we'll be doing episodes 10 and 11, which 11 is a pretty freaky episode.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. So guys, do you have anything you want to plug? Beard?
Let's see. I think like you, we're gonna jump over to here in just a few minutes to the Gore Kings show for The Crow. Looking forward to that. So people can meet us over
Correct.
there if you want. Thursday, I think all three of us here possibly are on with Roman of the Empire to suffer
Oh, yeah.
through the Acolyte. And
Yeah.
I might be doing
The-
something on
the,
Saturday with After the Weekend. We had to cancel our Monday show due to a power outage, so we might be relocating it to there. We're kind of playing it by ear right now. People can follow me on Beard of Liberty or at Beard of Liberty on X. If I know something, I'll tell you there.
Okay. Beard? Or sorry, Shieldwall.
So Thursday, I'm going to be on Rome of the Empire show. And we're going to be reviewing the Acolytes episode 1 and 2. At first I was like, all right, let's do it. It'll be kind of like the Ahsoka show maybe, but I'm not hearing too many good things. So we'll see how it turns out.
No.
About the show, but at least it'll be fun to review, hopefully. And then
Yeah.
whatever you got going on next week, I guess.
Hopefully.
This show.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, definitely. I'll be over at Romans, and I'm going to start calling it the not the Acolyte, but the Acolytus is what it is. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to see what the 2 episodes look like.
yeah.
But some other people have seen advanced screenings and you read things about it and they're talking about it. And then, so we'll see, how they go with it.
I agree,
I'm
Amelia.
expecting it
I
to
agree.
follow the standard that they've set, which is where they'll set up a premise in episode 1 and 2 and then totally go against it and change things in episode 3, 4, and 5, and then episode 6 and 7 won't have anything to do with anything else. And then, like a good example is in season 3 of Mandalorian, that the Mandalorian jetpacks have limited range of fuel, and they can't chase this turkey turkey dragon that stole the kid because it ran out of jetpack fuel. But in the last episode, they can literally fly into space with it. None of it makes any sense. And then all these turkey dragon babies fit in the ship that looks like it can hold maybe 3 people.
Oh, that was the
so
stupidest thing.
Don't make me relive Mandalorian. I'm going to have to go through Acolyte.
That's what I'm fully expecting it to be that, and then a bunch of woke nonsense injected into it and stuff. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the fight scenes will be cool. It might have some redeeming qualities.
We always go into these things saying we hope it's good. We don't think it will be, but we hope it is.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
see.
I wanted Ahsoka to be good, and it had.
Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
I would love to be surprised.
I think we're going to be surprised. I don't know if it'll be pleasant, but we're going to be surprised.
Anyways, all right. Well, next week is I'll be doing a True Grit, which is I think the 70th anniversary of it.
Ooh, the OG.
Ooh.
So that'll be
right?
fun.
Yes, that's
The
a great
the
movie.
OG one.
Yep.
So that'll be
With
fun.
what's her
Uh,
name in it? She was outstanding in it. Darcy, I think is that her last name.
yeah,
Anyway, whoever plays the girl
I can't
in
remember
it,
her first.
yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah,
in that.
Derby, something Derby.
Yeah.
Kim Derby.
Yes.
But Kim Derby, yeah. So yeah, I'll be doing that, and this Friday I'll be going over the Return of the King on Potato Raven's channel, which will be fun. And I've kind of become a regular on Matt's channel or Matt's show on Fridays.
Oh, yeah,
On
yeah. His on
what
Fridays.
time is that?
Yeah.
2:00.
It's just
Yeah.
his Friday show is no
So I'll
good.
be on
For me.
that
Like,
too.
the timing is just not good for me.
Yeah, that's just a odd time that I'm available,
Right.
so I'm able to be on there. So yeah, that's it for us. I hope everybody had a good time today, and be sure to go over to the Beard. Could you put a Gord's link in the channel? Be sure to go
Yeah.
over to Gord's channel and watch us talk about the Crow. That'll be fun. And
would have
I
been
hope
prepared
everybody
for
has a
this. You'd think
good
I would.
week. Hope everybody has a good week, and thanks for tuning in.
All right.
And
Everybody have a good night.
have a good one, everybody. Bye, y'all.
Lake coming.
Oh.